Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for Books of the Week, and today we're going to dive right in with Detective Comics number 988. So, this story opens up, oddly enough, with just a murder. Yeah, just a dead body, and according to Gordon, there is nothing spectacular about this murder. The only thing that's really spectacular about it to him is that Batman's here, which is the only reason Gordon's here. Most murders do not attract Batman's attention for the most part. He's usually focused on much bigger things like, there's a secret criminal organization going down in Gotham City. Two-Face is out there. Riddler's doing a thing. Joker's being Joker. Gordon finds it weird because nothing about this would have anything to do with those things. Batman says, I'm also a detective. And I need to sort of get back to being me, sort of harkening back to the recent events in the main Batman book under Tom King, where, Batman's trying to get back to who he used to be. Gordon says, fine, his name is Harold Franks, and Batman goes off, and he's talking to Alfred. According to Alfred, he's opening up a bit more, which is good. But there still seems to be nothing interesting about Harold Franks, even to the point where even his house, even where he lives, his apartment is nothing special. It's not on the bad side of Gotham, it's not on the good side of Gotham, sort of in the middle. And that's when Batman points out, well, he noticed that he'd been shot with two different guns, and so does the coroner at the GCPD. He also points that out too. So what does that mean? That makes it weird. And while going through Harold's apartment, he comes across, a secret room, because of course he has a secret room. And, it's got a map, it's got pictures on it, there's a desktop computer, and this is clearly Harold Franks' other life. But before Batman can start to explore more, the room is set on fire courtesy of Lady Firefly. And she's the new Firefly, or one of the new Fireflies. There are two Fireflies now who've followed in the footsteps of Garfield Lynns. And Batman's able to take them both out with relative ease, as well as get a lot of the people out of the building before it goes up. While that's going on, Batman's wondering, I wonder what else is going on with Harold Franks. We got to find out more. And then the comic ends with us finding out that Harold Franks, the torching of his apartment was planned as we thought, but also that they have all the data that he meant to send them, and that with that new information, Cobra will rise again. Cobra will rise again. So Detective Comics number 988 is, it's interesting. I'm enjoying the sort of rotating group of people we have writing on it and whatnot. This writer is James Robinson, who you may remember from his little stint with Jason in Wonder Woman, as well as some of the stuff with JSA, and a couple of other interesting projects, not so interesting projects, but I'll plan to go more into him a bit later on in the year. But it was nice to get back to a good old-fashioned detective story which possibly involves Two-Face. I mean, think about it. There's two guns, two Fireflies. Harold Frank has two first names. Come on, it's more than likely Two-Face. Overall, this was a rather fantastic story. As we get to Fantastic Four issue 2, please don't unsubscribe. So, if you recall last issue with the Fantastic Four, Ben had resolved to marry Alicia. Johnny was coming to terms with the fact that Reed and Sue and Franklin and Valeria were more than likely dead, and that is all shot down by the Fantastic Four signal appearing in space. So you'd think, okay, that's where we're going next, right? To, reuniting with those two. Well, no. Issue 2 is everything that led up to that. So it turns out Reed and Sue have not been dead or stranded somewhere. They've not been locked up in some prison. No, they've been going around using Franklin to create universes, and Molecule Man stabilizes those universes, and then they go around and help those universes, which seems sort of interesting. It really does. I kind of wish Ben and Johnny had been there just so we wouldn't have to go through all this just to get to this point. I don't know. But at the same time, it also feels sort of, that's nice. Johnny's been worried sick about you guys. You could have sent a message or something, because, Franklin Richards is a reality warper. All right? He's legitimately creating his own universes, which he'd been doing since he was 5. So, whatever. But as this goes on, the kids are starting to grow up a little. Valeria's starting to, flirt a little with weird demon boys, which, Frank's like, I created you, right? So I'm basically your god. So don't flirt with my sister. And it's nice to see that each member of the Future Foundation gets a chance to sort of tell Franklin how they'd like a specific universe to be before they go into Molecule Man. Stabilizes that universe a bit more. But Valeria and Franklin, they miss Uncle Ben and Uncle Johnny. They really do. And that seems to be what's affecting his powers, as the next day Franklin cannot create a universe. But his powers are still there. His powers are still off the chart. He's still unrealistically powerful. So what's going on? And it's believed that his powers are just done. That Franklin's just done. Like he on a subconscious level, he wants to go home. I think that's really what's been trying to be said here, which is apparently what the being Entropy has been waiting for, because she's like, yes, he's done. Now we attack and destroy his universes. So Entropy seems to be a natural occurrence in the universe. All things have to end. And going by what she's saying here, that after the events of Secret Wars, the multiverse was supposed to die, and what they're doing with creating these universes is offsetting the natural order of things. And after she kills Molecule Man, which upsets everybody, the Future Foundation is unable to get away, and Valeria herself wants to stand and fight. And that goes about as well as you think it does. Even Franklin can't stand up to Entropy. And Reed, I guess, makes the Hail Mary pass. It's like, well, you wouldn't be able to beat us if, we were a full team. If the Fantastic Four were really here, you wouldn't stand up to us. And apparently Entropy takes the bait and says, oh, really? I bet not. Just to prove it, here's a machine that you can use to call your Ben and Johnny, your thing and Human Torch. And yeah, you just won't win. You just won't win. And apparently, Reed realizes that she was that stupid, and Reed uses the machine to put the Fantastic Four symbol up in the sky, which also teleports not just Ben and Johnny, but also Storm, Black Panther, Medusa, Ant-Man, Jennifer Walters, She-Thing, and an assortment of other people who've ever been on the Fantastic Four team, including Spider-Man and Wolverine. And that's how the comic ends. So Fantastic Four issue 2, it sounds kind of stupid. I mean, honestly, it does sound a bit stupid. Primarily because of how easily she's baited. How easily Entropy is baited into taking this. I've seen people have their hubris and their ego get in the way of their victory, of their job. But come on now, why did she have to let them do that? Wouldn't it just been easier if the idea was that Reed and the Future Foundation were fleeing Entropy as she was destroying all these universes, and they'd gotten far enough away so that she couldn't reach them. So Reed and Valeria make a machine that can bring some help in, and Valeria messes it a bit more, because let's say the plan is to teleport outside of these universes, because Entropy's made it so they can't teleport out. Valeria says, no, we're going to fight, and she calls, everybody down there. See? That works. That's fun. That's interesting. Valeria does more, and yeah, but overall, it's stupid to be sure, but it's not, terrible. I mean, it's a bit offsetting that, the only people that seem to miss Ben and Johnny are Franklin and Valeria, Would have been nice to hear Sue talk about her, Reed, because, Reed and Ben are best friends. Johnny refused to be Ben Grimm's best man because, in his mind, the best man should be Reed Richards. So, yeah, I want to know what's going on there. Overall, though, this was fine, I guess. It wasn't like it was some sort of horrible suicide run from Suicide Squad issue 46. Seriously, I might be losing subscribers as I do this. But anyway, so if you recall last time we left off with this, which was in Aquaman, the Suicide Squad is going to detonate a bomb under Atlantis. It's going to destroy it, and, it's going to sink it, thereby destroying it. A bunch of people are going to die when this happens, and Deadshot and Harley are trying to talk to the guards, trying to get them to let them help, because Deadshot can still detonate the bombs that are in Lord Satanas' head, and Lord Satanas is the main man on point for this, because he has nothing else to do with his life, I guess. And he's a really try-hard wizard. He's a try-hard wizard. Meanwhile, Mara is trying to figure out exactly what she needs to do, and at the end of this, you're going to see exactly how serious Mara is about preventing this. And especially when she knows that Ursel has sided with this plan to sink Atlantis, and she's also sent Arthur to go recruit King Shark to help with that. And Then we cut to Lord Satanis, Killer Croc, Master Jailer, and Ursel as they're trying to enter the Silent School, which has all the magic and stuff they need. It's also where the bomb is more likely going to be detonated. And we find out about Master Jailer. Master Jailer he's just a thief, as was mentioned previous issue, and he's not really up for this. He doesn't want to, effectively take part in what's probably going to be a genocide. But he reveals how his powers work, namely the fact that magic, science, they all have inner gears, inner workings, and he's able to sense those and move those along. So it's actually kind of an OP ability, because it doesn't just work for gears by logic, it also works for magic. So he's able to understand the inner workings, or at least manipulate the inner workings of spells, and he can undo them, which is how he's able to get them into the Silent School, where Ursel tries to goad Lord Satanis into messing with more magic and more power, effectively to get the nuke away from him, but Lord Satanis is embodying it, or rather, he still takes the magic, but he also kills Ursel. And everything seems to be going well in Lord Satanis' favor until Aquaman, King Shark, Harley, and Deadshot show up. And because Deadshot, for some reason, hasn't detonated the bombs in Lord Satanis' skull, they just embark in a fight. There's a really great tease of King Shark and Killer Croc about to fight, which never happens. Well, never really happens. I felt a bit cheated with that one alone. And it just sort of goes from there until Lord Satanis activates one of the items he got from the Silent School and is able to effectively lock just about everyone but Dolphin out, because Dolphin was, I guess, too close, or maybe just too far away from whatever the magic was trying to do that kept everyone else out, and she's gone off to presumably sacrifice herself to stop Lord Satanis. Meanwhile, Mera has met with the American ambassador, and she's like, look, I'm hoping we can have a good relationship. I'm hoping that America and Atlantis can be allies and great friends, but from what I've just heard, that's not going to happen. I've heard about the Suicide Squad coming in. They're going to detonate a bomb, and if that bomb goes off, there are orders to sink the United States of America. All right? If Atlantis falls, the U.S. goes with it, and that's how the comic ends. So the MVP of this story has to be Mera, just because of how she ended it. Everyone else does a good enough job. Master Jailer fleshes himself out. Harley is Harley. I think that's the best way to sum it up. Lord Satanis appears more and more of a joke each day. He reminds me of one of the characters from Black Cauldron. Oh, I forget his name. He's a jerk, though. Not the movie, the book, who is so into getting his own personal glory that he's stopping a mission to effectively to destroy the Black Cauldron. Just like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna help you guys save the world from the Black Cauldron if you all swear to follow my orders and tell everyone that I'm the one that got the cauldron. That's it. Puts everything at risk just for that. And yeah, I'm still a bit off-put by this having to be a multi-book event, but it's only going into one book, so that's all right. I hate if it goes to 3. If it goes to 3, I'd probably just drop this. But overall, this was a really solid and almost super event. Supergirl issue number 22 is next. So if you recall with Supergirl issue 21, we saw that Supergirl was going off to find out exactly what happened on Krypton that day. Was it, as Rogozar said, did he plan to destroy Krypton, or was it just a freak accident? And, on with Rogozar's axe and a spaceship and Krypto, the most important of Kryptonians. They're on their way to Mogo, and the axe starts activating before they really enter Mogo's atmosphere, and it destroys the ship. But luckily, they're saved by the Green Lanterns, and Jon Stewart and Kyle Rayner says, oh, do you need something? Like, why are you here? She says, I need to access your archives. I want to look up what happened on Krypton. And she's saying it's for academic purposes, which in a lot of ways sort of tells you how even Supergirl will not go directly to the Kryptonians, the Green Lantern Corps for help, or maybe she's just not sure if she can trust them exactly with it because she doesn't know them. She doesn't know them. She's not like Superman, who has a really great relationship with every Green Lantern of Earth. So as she's being taken to the archives, presumably that under the impression she can search for anything she'd like, she knows there's still stuff in the classified files that she probably won't get access to. So one of the little gnomes, one of the little space gnomes who oversees the archives, don't think it's the same one from the previous issue, makes a move towards the axe, and it turns into a little hammer. And she's like, I have no idea how this thing works. Really wish there was a manual. And later that night, Supergirl sneaks into the Forbidden Archives and, using the code she saw someone enter, prepares to access the secret files. But luckily, the Green Lantern Corps is not stupid and left someone to patrol it. And like, hey, what are you doing? And that's when the axe activates again. This time, instead of being a small little warhammer, it glows red. It gets bigger. Everyone's freaking out. The Green Lantern Corps shows like, Supergirl, put down the axe. Look, I don't know how to put down the axe. Put down the axe. I can't put down the axe. The Green Lantern Corps tries to wrap the axe up with their rings, which I think may have activated its security protocols. I'm not entirely sure. But the axe then activates and transports Kara somewhere else, where she's met by a recording of Outlaws, who says, if you're hearing this, then I'm dead, and I need to tell you the story of the secret circle, of our sins, of our crimes, and you will judge us as you will. And that's how the comic ends. Supergirl issue 22 has proven to be, well, worth it, I guess, or maybe not. I think I'm expecting something longer. I mean, I don't quite know what Outlaws is going to tell Kara that wouldn't be any different, or I don't quite know. What is the circle, and what will Supergirl do in response to the circle? Will she go and hunt them all down? Will this lead to a temporary fight with the Green Lantern Corps? We don't quite know yet. And finally, we have Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 26. So this one's pretty heavy, and not in terms of what's happening in the story, but what is telling us is that this is sort of the aftermath of a story. So it's the middle of the night, on a bus, and Jason's on the bus, and he's getting chatted up by the bus driver, who's talking about Gotham City, about his life, and blah, 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 when they come across a federal agent who is running from, well, the murder of another federal agent. She saw another federal agent get killed. It was her partner, and she's telling him, you guys got to go. Look, you didn't see me. And Jason's not having it. He picks her up, takes her in the bus, and says, like, look, I'm not gonna let you die. And that's when the bikers are like, you bring us the federal agent and everyone's fine. And Jason's like, nah, I'm going out there. And I want to point out, Jason looks like he wants to be the new Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles. That's the image I have now, and I can no longer take it seriously. Jason does about as well as you'd expect a Robin to do against a bunch of, like, dirty bikers. And he just wrecks them, shoves a flare in one of their mouths, and as he's, changing his clothes after the fight, that's when the federal agent realizes he's Red Hood, the one who tried to assassinate Cobblepot in Gotham City, so he's under arrest. Jason's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he walks out because her leg is broken. And he goes and deals with the rest of the group, the Underlife, which is a group Jason had been tracking down for drug dealing. And that's sort of the interesting part about this. It's just sort of these two stories just sort of come together. And Jason goes and he deals with the corrupt sheriff, the Underlife boss, and he gives us a bit of exposition as to exactly what's been happening. So from the federal agent, we know that he tried to assassinate Cobblepot, but that also led to a fight with Batman because Batman had a no-kill rule in Gotham City. And apparently Jason's been kicked out of Gotham City. I guess I have to read earlier issues of Red Hood and the Outlaws, or Red Hood and the Outlaw, as it's written on the title, and he deals with them effectively. He deals with them with next to no real problem because he's Jason Todd, and he then visits the federal agent in the hospital, handing her partner's ID, or partner's badge, to take to the family, and he sort of gives a bit more exposition about it, that, he used to have a team, used to have friends, and now he doesn't. Now he's just on the road, doing his own thing, killing again, and let the chips fall where they may. And that's how the comic ends. Red Hood and the Outlaws issue number 26 was alright. It was alright. I think the costume is a bit much. I always loved the more simplistic view for Jason's clothes, which was really just, pants, shirt, and a red mask. Now he's got a hood, he's got a tire iron / crowbar, he's got a face mask. Again, he looks like DC's response to Casey Jones. And it's all right, I guess. And I think I might give issue 27 a pass. Or maybe I just have to read the previous issues before to get a hold of it. If anyone's read the previous issues before this, let me know. With that in mind, we'll bring this video to close here. If you're new to the Buck Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. If you've read any of these books, love to hear your thoughts on them. And I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. May your fandom serve you well.